Hello guys, welcome back to another video. So it is MOT time for the V12 BMW 760Li, and if you're not too sure what an MOT is, it's basically a yearly inspection to make sure that the car is roadworthy, doesn't have any safety concerns, and everything is basically working as it should. Now I have the previous MOT's details, and the previous MOT was only done about 2,000 or 3,000 miles ago, so there really shouldn't be too much else, you know, worn or have any extra concerns about. But there is, these were the previous advisories, so it did obviously pass the previous MOT, obviously. But yeah, there was some advisories. So the first one was offside front tyre worn close to legal limit / worn on edge, bold outer edges. MOT jargon is so like confusing, but yeah, I think the front tire, I think that was more than likely changed before I bought the car. Second one was offside front plate in steering rack inner joint, so that's essentially the track rods, which obviously I've replaced both track rods and both track rod ends, so that should be all good. Another one was offside front brake pipe corroded, covered in grease or other material corroded. So I have replaced all of the brake hoses. I did inspect the brake pipe and I couldn't see any issues with it. I did clean it up and everything, so hopefully that should be fine. And the other one, rear diff corroded, which we know about that. When I serviced the diff, I gave it a good clean down. It's basically just surface rust, surface corrosion, and it was kind of all flaking off, so I did give that a good clean down and cover the whole thing in grease just to stop it rusting anymore. But yeah, I am feeling pretty confident. I know there is a few small issues. There might be the odd bulb out here and there. I know there's a couple of warnings that come up on the dash, but apart from that, I'm feeling pretty confident. I mean, we've replaced all of the brakes, you know, we have replaced the brakes all round. That's parking brake shoes, front and rear discs and pads, like I said, brake hoses for the braided steel ones, and yeah, the car is driving pretty nice, no knocks, no bangs or anything like that, so feeling pretty confident. Yeah, let's just get outside, let's get cracking. Okay then, so here is how she is currently looking. Hasn't had a good wash in a good while, so probably does deserve one sometime soon. But I'm just going to go around, check the usual things. Obviously we'll put all the lights on so we can see if we have any bulbs out. I'll check the tyre treads. I know, yeah, that one's fine. I think this one is going to need replacing. Yeah, there's like, that is probably pretty close to the legal limit, to be honest. There's next to none on that. So we do have a spare in the boot. Whether or not it holds air though, that is a different question. So I'll more than likely try and swap that over for that one. Loads of tread on that, even though it is a cheap Chinese tyre, but it should do us for the MOT. And yeah, a decent amount on that one, that should be fine. Right, let's switch the lights on. Front and rear fogs as well. Let's see which bulbs we have out then. Oh, can't forget the hazards. Side markers working fine. Yeah, indicators working fine. Rear indicators working fine. So I think the middle ones are the fogs. So these ones, then these are the brake lights, which it looks like it's flashing on camera, but believe me, it's not. I think it's just because they're LED. Yeah, these are the tail lights. No, I think these are the tail lights. I think these are the brake lights, I think. And obviously we have the third brake light as well, which is here, not up there, here. But yeah, seem to be all fine on the back. Obviously we need to test the reversing lights. Let's have a look on the front. So front fogs are working, which is strange actually, because there was an error that came up on the dash for one of the front fogs, so that's interesting. What do we have here then? main beam and side lights. Are those side lights? I think they are. Yeah, main beam, side lights. Let's put the high beam on. Yeah, high beam, high beam. Right, how are we going to test the reverse? Let's see. The parking brake's on. We put this in reverse. Is this going to go anywhere? No, it should be fine. Let's hope we don't run ourselves over. Yeah, it's working fine. We'll also test the brake lights as well. Yep, they are working spot on. So I think the only issue that I can see is this rear tyre. I think we're going to have to swap that over. Oh, windscreen wipers. Now the windscreen wipers themselves, they are brand new, so they should be fine. Make sure we have washer fluid, which we do. Okay, so of course this is the spare wheel then. Question is though, does it hold air? It doesn't seem to be dead flat. Of course it isn't under any real pressure. Okay, yeah, no. That is pretty flat. I don't think this is going to hold air. But we'll give it a go. We need to get it through the MOT. Okay, so the tyre is definitely being inflated, but I have sprayed some soapy water around the edge and you can see it is leaking from the bead. It's leaking from there and from here. You see how it's all foamed up? Yeah, you should see bubbles start to form here. It's clear that it's leaking from there. I'm still going to try and pump it up anyway, see if I can get, get it to hold for the amount of time that it takes to do an MOT. But if it just starts to go down real quick, then I might try one of those cans of like Tyre Weld, like one of these things, because I think this could probably just help us out right now. So yeah, if the pressure does drop pretty quick, then this is probably what I'll resort to. Okay, so I have inflated the tyre to 40 psi, and although it looks like it's leaking less, it is still leaking. So what I'm going to do is get the wheel on the car and then deflate the wheel and then basically follow these instructions. So yeah, deflate the wheel, yeah, deflate completely, shake the cam well, remove the red safety seal and screw the connector on tightly. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So yeah, let's get this wheel off, let's get this one on, and yeah, let's get this stuff in there. Okay, so our replacement wheel is on. Here is the tyre that was on the car. As you can see, yeah, it's right on the wear bar there. I mean, it is sort of, there is a lot more on the inner edge, so I guess they have sort of worn unevenly, I guess, when the rear camber was out. That's all been sorted now. It's had new rear camber arms and all the rest of it. But yeah, let's deflate the tyre and let's start with that Tyre Weld. Okay, so I've got all the air out the tyre. What's next? Place the Tyre Weld upright and turn the red knob on. I'll obviously secure it to the valve first. And turn the valve on. Oh, there we are. Needs to be doing something. Just got to wait for the entire can to empty now. While I'm waiting for that, I'll go ahead and torque the wheel bolts up. can feel there's not much left in there now. Just gonna let it fully drain out there. Can get it back on the ground there. Okay, so with the Tyre Weld now in the tyre, let's go take it for a drive. Okay then guys, so took the car for a drive, then took it home, inflated it, and yeah, the tyre seems fine. I can't really see if it's leaking anymore. I guess we'll sort of know over the next few days if that Tyre Weld has, you know, semi-permanently fixed the leak. It's not going to be a long-term thing anyway, don't worry. I'm not going to be having these wheels and tyres on the car. They're pretty much scrap. This is literally just to get me rolling around, just to get me through the MOT and all the rest of it. But then I took the car for the MOT, and I have some good news. The car did pass its MOT, but we also have some bad news as well. There was quite a few advisories, and a couple I kind of expected, but then a couple I kind of did not expect. So we have two for brake pipes. So it says brake pipe corroded, covered in grease or other material near side rear, and also offside rear as well, which I'm kind of a bit confused with, because I'm pretty sure that both of the rear brake pipes have been replaced, and I'm sure they have copper pipes on there now, so I don't think they could be corroded. Yeah, they've been replaced sometime in the past couple of years, so yeah. Are they covered in grease? Honestly I didn't bother to ask, but that's a bit weird. I don't know if yeah, I really don't know what's going on with that, but I don't think there is an issue. I'm sure I've already checked them. I will obviously check them at a later date. Another one is oil leak, but not excessive, and he did actually show me underneath the car. The under tray was a bit wet, but I'm not too sure if it was engine oil or if it was power steering fluid from the anti-roll bar, which I know is weeping slightly. So yeah, nothing, you know, too serious, let's hope. And the next advisory was again for the rear differential. It just says rear in brackets diff corrosion, which, to be honest, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about this. It's a bit silly because, you know, the differential, it's not structural, is it? And it's either leaking or it's not. It's like the only way realistically to fix a corroded diff is to either refurbish it or just to get a brand new differential. I don't really know why that would be an advisory. I mean, the thickness of the differential casing is, you know, it's very thick. It's got to be like, I don't know, close to 10mm thick or something. It's not going to corrode all the way to where it's you know, starts leaking or whatever. But yeah, it is what it is. That was kind of expected. And then there's two for the tyres, and it's both of the front tyres. It says tyre worn close to legal limit / worn on edge near side front 2mm. Now, I've kind of had an issue with tyres being advisories a couple of times now with this particular MOT tester, and by law, I mean, please correct me if I am wrong, but by law you take the tread depth in the main 3 or 4 grooves. I think it's the middle 3/4 of the tyre. That's where you check the tread depth. You don't check the tread depth on the outer edges of the tyre. I mean, of course, if there is cords exposing and, you know, cords exposed, and, you know, they are just completely gone, then yeah, it should be, well, it's more than likely a failure at that point. But yeah, I don't know why you would measure the outside tread is 2mm, because it's not, you don't measure the outside tread, do you? It's literally just the main 3 or 4 grooves. But I don't know, guys, please correct me if I am wrong. I could just be talking absolute nonsense, but yeah, that kind of seems a bit silly to me, because the tyres themselves, they do have a good 5 or 6mm of tread on. So to say that, you know, because the thing is, if somebody looks at this, they see an advisory, they think, oh, those tyres have only got 2mm of tread on, which they haven't. They've got literally a good 5 or 6mm, because the outer edges, they don't come with that much anyway from you know, from new. So yeah, I don't know how you can give an advisory for that, but anyway, it is what it is. Like I said, a few things on there I was expecting, a couple of things definitely not. I'm not happy. I'm not really convinced that a few of those are an issue, but what do I know? I'm not an MOT tester. I'm not going to say that I'm any better than the guy than the person who done it, but more than likely I will be going to somewhere else next, because this is only a small independent garage, and yeah, you know, the standards are probably not as good as a more well-known you know, supply chain garage, or even not the dealer themselves. So yeah, more than likely I will be going to someone else in the future to get an MOT done, but it looks like we have some investigating to do with, of course, the brake pipes, the oil leak, and yeah, like I said, I'm not really too concerned with the diff and the tyres, because they are, well, the tyres are consumable, but the diff, it is what it is. But yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video anyway. Expect more videos to come on the V12 BMW 760Li. And yeah, please give it a like if you have enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. Subscribe if you have not already done so. And I will see you all in that next one. Peace!